Remember when you were young and you always get in trouble, but your grandmother would say it was better when your grandmother did it. Oh, it's all fun and games until someone loses an eye. And you kind of like, actually, grandma, it's kind of funny too. How are you, everybody? I hope you're all doing well. All one of you, Ira. Hey, Ira. Vincent. Boy, whenever I was in trouble, my teachers called me Vincent. Actually, my teachers always called me Vincent because remember those Delaney cards? I always put my name, Vincent. I don't think any teachers called me Vinny, but that didn't matter. They weren't missing out on anything. So how you all doing? Throwback Thursday. I was doing a lot of thinking today, something that I can actually still do. It might not be smart thinking, but at least I know what I'm thinking about. Buffalo Billy, how are you, my man? I hope you're doing well. You know, going through all of this, I was talking to someone today, and they were talking about getting over my dog who died 5 weeks ago, maybe more now, I think. And I was comparing it to the blisters on my fingers, from playing guitar, logging in thousands of hours. You know, it protects your fingers. Your body learns how to put a protective shell. This way, you're not ripped up. And I think that's what happens. In fact, I'm pretty sure that's what happens. You're not a troll to me. No, don't ever let them take that away from you. Stay strong, troll. Bill. Hey, Lee. So, you know, you learn to deal with things. You learn, your body learns. Look, a girlfriend breaks up with you at 17. You swear you're never going to get over it until the next one comes. Now, almost 50 years later, most of the girls I dated, I can't even remember their names. I remember where we went, a lot of them, because there's only 4 hotels to choose from. But you know what I mean. I'm joking. There were 5. So I just think that God lets you get past things because if not, they'd run out of rope and razor blades. And I just think that there comes a time when we have to realize that there's no dress rehearsal here. This is it. For good or bad, indifferent or not, write our own script, have a script writer. This is what it is. So either we can complain and bitch about it and feel that life has given us a short end of the stick. Some people feel they didn't even get any stick to have a short end of. It seems like some people sail through life unscathed. Bill, honestly, it doesn't. It really doesn't. And if you found something that's wonderful, I would never make fun of that. No. Look, if something went off today where you felt like, why do this certain thing? A, good for you. B, it doesn't mean you can't go back to it. Look, I'm encouraging the guy to troll people. You know what I mean. But if that's what you feel today, run with it. That's great, Bill. I'm glad for you. Really? Well, I believe you. I think that's amazing. Something which you may not even realize must have set it off. Something might have happened. Has nothing to do with YouTube. You could be walking down the street and something just clicks. Exactly. I'll give you a perfect example. It's not a perfect example. I'm going from religion to riding a bike. When I was about 4, I couldn't ride a two-wheeler. I'm guessing I was 4, and I couldn't do it. One night, I lived in East Rockaway, where there was a courtyard. There was like a square with all the garden apartments, and there was a walkway around the whole complex. And one night, it was dusk, and back then you could leave your bikes outside. And I just grabbed my friend's bike. I hope it was my friend. I think it was. And I started riding along. And I don't know how many feet I was from where my parents were all sitting on the stoop with other friends. It wasn't my house. And my mother said, "My God, that looks like Vinny." And my father said, "Well, he doesn't know how to ride it. It can't be him." And it was me. I just got up, got on it, and started riding. Now, how would I know I could do it without falling? My father wasn't there teaching me. I don't remember who tried to teach me or whatever. But how did I just pick it up and go? Was it that there wasn't the pressure of my father there with me? And I'm guessing he was teaching me. I don't think my mother was going, "Come on, another 3 feet," right? What did it? What was it? It's kind of like asking you, Billy, and I do this in life coaching. If When did you fall? Yeah, I just went and did it. When did you? And I just sounded like Seinfeld when I did that. When is the moment? If I ask you, when did you fall in love with your girlfriend, your ex, whomever? You don't know. You can't tell me, yeah, December 11th, 88. You don't know the date. You know the approximate time frame, but you can't just zero in. I like people, "Oh, and he said that to me, and that was it." No, it wasn't. It sounds romantic. That wasn't it. You don't know the exact moment. And you don't know the exact moment where you just feel, Bill, that, you know what? I've outgrown it for whatever reason. Bill, I don't get many trolls because I don't get many views. But I have to tell you, when I used to get 150 people in, hi, Danae, when I first started out in my last incarnation, I I had 2 trolls. They were friends, and they were destroying me. I went to visit Lee in Florida, and I got so deathly ill on that plane that I had to go into the bathroom. Wasn't vomiting. I did that all on the plane for the 3 hours. I could not. I sat on the bowl and I told him, "Lee, I'll be out in a few minutes." No, no, Ramundi and I became friends. No, he helped me a lot with my channel. Actually, Ramundi put out the word. Now, this is what he told me, and I do believe him, that I was off limits for all the trolls that he worked with. He said he's off limits, leave him alone, which was really nice of him. He was a cool guy. Spoke with him many times. But yeah, I called Lee. "Lee, I have to go into the bathroom. I'll be out when I can." I was so deathly ill. Well, I got on. I don't think I did shorts at that time. I don't even think I knew what they were. But I went on very quickly and said maybe a post on my community page or something. Or maybe I did go live, really not feeling well, have to cancel. Well, I got 2 emails. One from the real troll who said, "Look, trolling's one thing, but man, you don't look good. You said you're diabetic. You really should go to the doctor there. Go to a quick med, whatever they have there." That guy, to this day, him and his friend are really good friends with me. Started off as trolls. They were never terrible, but you know what I mean. Sometimes you just say, "You know what? The guy's not bothering anybody. So he does this. Maybe he's not great at it. Maybe once in a while we get a laugh, but leave him alone. We'll go to someone else. And that's what happened, Bill. So you know what? And I asked him a couple of years later, this is 4 years now, why did you stop? And he said, you were just too nice to troll. We actually felt bad. You weren't bothering anybody. And I think that's what happened with you. I think you realized, Bill, that why waste the energy? And there are probably plenty of people that deserve trolling. I'm not saying, maybe I do at times. I don't know. But you see how you feel. But look, good for you. And like I said, I'm a licensed life and health coach. You guys in here would never have to pay me. And I can make money. The people I know. You could hit me up on my email. Absolutely. We've been, long time, Bill, I know you. But, because I really believe that whether it's trolling, whatever it is in life, basically, we're all in the same boat, right? If I negotiated, if Donald Trump or whomever said, go talk to Putin and Zelensky. Good, Bill. I would walk over to those two guys and I'd say, first of all, you don't say anything for 5 minutes. I'm doing the talking. You both just say yes or no. Zelensky, do you care about your family? Do you love them? Yes. You? Yes. Do you want them to be successful? Yes. Yes. You want them to be healthy? Yes. Yes. I'll go do 15, 20 things. And then I'd say, all right, now both of you tell me how you have nothing in common. Make a fool out of yourselves. That's how I would start. We always look at what we don't have in common. We always go there. Not knowing. And not knowing. Yeah, I think it's important, Bill. When they build a tunnel, they start on one end in New York, one end in Queens. And when they finally meet the middle, it's finished. Bridges are meant to gap the water. We can always do that. I was never into the trolling. I don't know. I'm sure I could have been a good one. I wasn't for me. Wasn't for me. But Bill, good for you if you had a revelation. Good for you. That's for you. And I really hope that leads to other revelations. Right? I believe that because I don't ever remember you trolling me, Bill. I believe that. And there are a lot of people that do deserve it. Now, look, deep down, the old me, the 1985 me, who had no problem really going ape shit on you and then going to eat and not giving a shit. Do I think people deserve for people to show up at their door and kick the shit out of them? No. If anybody deserved that, would it be them? Yeah. But should anybody have a right to put their hands on you? Well, if you put your hands on them first, absolutely. But there are lines you draw. And Bill, whatever it was last week, you just decided, I don't want to do it anymore. How do people break up with women? Right? And this has probably been on your mind internally a long time, Bill. Bill, when a girl breaks up with you on Friday at 4:00, she broke up with you 3 months ago. She just didn't understand it, so you didn't hear it. No one decides, like me asking you, what was the exact time you fell in love with that? You can't tell me. It's good to question. It's absolutely. How do you learn anything? And questioning yourself is the best because deep down, only you can really initiate the change. And I just think that sometimes something clicks. I got on the bike and rode it. Bill decided last week, you know what, this isn't for me anymore. I'll do something else. The payback was payback. Bill has to move on to things that he feel are worth his time and effort. Oh, Tom LaVecchia? Yeah, LaVecchia wasn't looking to start with anybody. Tom wanted to be a media guy. That was his interest. He got thrown into it all like we all did when we started around the same time. But he was not looking to start with anybody. He got involved in a couple of things where he made a couple of decisions that I think if you asked him now, he'd say, "Yeah, I shouldn't have." But look, I did. When I first started out, I knew nothing. I didn't even know how to press the live button. Do you know once I was on here for about 25 minutes, 30 minutes talking away, and someone called me. I thought you were going on. I said, I am. He goes, no, you're not. I didn't push the live button twice. So I learned. No one really missed anything anyway, but you know what I meant. And that was probably one of my better ones because, of course, no one heard it. But, you just, from youth to this is what it is. I remember when I was dating in the 80s. No, not 1880s, people. I would go out with a girl. I would say, look, I don't want to know your friends. I don't want to come to your parents' house for something. I want to go have a nice time. First of all, I was in a band. I had no time. But other than that, I just was not into it until I was into it. Why? What's the same reason Billy decided, screw the trolling. Screw the band. I'd rather hang out with her on Friday night. I'll do a gig on a Sunday night. That's what happens. No rhyme or reason. We just change. That's because we get older. My friend Mitch doesn't have a car. He wants a car. He hasn't driven consistently in about a year since he got ill last January. He doesn't have a car. He wants a car because he wants the idea of that freedom to go anywhere. Like you are more, sometimes teenagers are more in love with the idea of being in love than they're actually in love. They like the idea of being in love. They have no idea what it entails. They have no, I just want to be in love. That's the way it is. Mitch loves the idea of being able to just start the car and say, all right, and walk back inside. That's all he wants. That illusion of freedom. But is it really freedom? For some people, yeah. Me personally, I would go crazy without a car until I didn't go crazy anymore. I will always, in my own way, grieve and mourn and cry over Colby, my little guy. But it will be different eventually. From youth to this, finally we get sick of feeling a certain way and we do something else. We decide, you know what? I'm wasting all my time talking about this when I could be doing this. The reason why I don't make any money doing this, I truly don't. Nothing. I don't ask people for super chat, The reason I do this is because it gives me a connection to people that I really couldn't have any other way. Now, I'm a people person. I have friends from 1974 that I still see. I was with my friend last night from my band. We know each other 45 years. I started at Merrill Lynch with him when I was a part timer. Uh, I have friends that go way back. And each of them, and I'd like to think I offer them something, offer me something, a take on life. You can meet new friends at this age, but a friend that saw your father screaming at you and knows you, so where one day when you're your father's age and your father's long gone and you are no longer your father's son, you are your son's father, your friend says, "Oh my God, you reminded me of your father. I remember like 40 years ago, he did that to you." That's what new friends don't have with friends that they meet now. They don't have the familiarity of knowing where you come from. It's like me saying I come from a slum of a building. Until you actually see it, you're going to dream about what you perceive to be a slum of a building, right? And you're going to be way off. You may get it right, people hanging outside the entrance. You might get that right. You have a fire escape, you get that right. Everybody has a kitchen, blah, 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 blah. But you're not going to, if I ask Billy right now, draw my apartment, he'll come up with a few rooms, a bathroom, this and that, and he'll put a little picture in a room of where this computer is. Oh, that's what you do. Your show. But he couldn't know. Now, if he came into my house once, he may forget, but there's going to be one thing he remembers about the, oh, I remember he has that, and I'll draw that. That's the way it is. It's like, that's why we always want to put a name to the face or a voice to the name, or just, we are on an endless loop in our minds. We always want answers. That's why a repetitive song. Your mind likes to close loops. A competitive song with a nursery rhythmic middle eight, or something that plays and plays and plays, it never closes. Right? Row, 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 you, but the thing never closes. Gently down the stream, everyone, life is but a dream. Now what? We're going to row again? Your mind wants to go off in a direction of solving it, but it can't. It's an open loop, and that's why it drives you crazy and you continually sing it. Well, that's what happens with people. When you can't answer questions, you have to come up with an answer. It'll drive you nuts. Why do you think it is when you're trying to think of a singer's name? All day you'll go nuts. Why can't you just forget it and say, ah, screw it, I forgot it? You can't. You're looking it up on Google. You're trying to remember. Because we want to close loops. And we do that in friendships as well. We want to know where we stand. If I call Billy right now and say, oh my God, you wouldn't believe what, oh, you know what, screw it, I'll take it tomorrow. He'd say, what, no, what? You know, you want the answer. And you'll manufacture an answer if you don't get it. And you'll catastrophize it because that's what we do. But the bottom line is, from youth to now, a lot of water under that bridge. And I hope you built a good bridge, nice and safe, if you want to go back in time, because that bridge is really old. And if you haven't reinforced it, you're taking a chance. It's like someone that has built a wood bridge upstate, built in 1850. No one ever goes over it. You hear your great-great-great-grandfather used to cross that bridge. Is it safe for you to get on that thing with all the wood worn and never upkept? No. If you maintain it, yeah. Well, that's the same thing as going back in the past. If we maintain the connection, we make a healthy journey over that bridge to deal with things. knowing we can come back and the bridge isn't going to collapse. That's what happens every day when someone with a drug abuse problem fails. Something, the littlest thing set them off. It doesn't have to be that they saw someone using. They didn't have to watch a movie, Panic in Needle Park with Pacino about heroin. They didn't have whatever it was set them off. And that's the great thing about us. Whatever we do, there is a possibility without us knowing the answer and stacking the deck. You know, I remember when I was a bouncer, girls would come over to me. Oh, my friend really likes you. Yeah, so am I such a big shot walking over to her? Hey, how you doing? No, I kind of got the answer built in that she'll say yes if I ask her out. How about someone that's giving me dirty looks the whole night? Yeah, be a big shot then and walk over and ask them out. We like the deck stacked because it's safe. We like roller coasters. Why? Because we can live on the edge and be big shots and 3 minutes later come back. No consequences. We have all the exhilaration of being Wyatt Earp in the street, but we come back unscathed. Why do guys from Iowa love The Godfather? Because every guy dreams of that respect of getting kissed on the cheek and don't screw with them. And every guy loves that. Because middle America, everyone who condemns that behavior rents the movie. Right? We tend to condemn things in real life that will follow with the art because the art is safe. You're going to vote for Trump? No! He won the popular vote. Some of those no's were lying. Why? Because you can't admit it. You get canceled, you get fired, your friends won't invite you to barbecues anymore. In that booth, you can do whatever you want. And that's life. Well, I think that, Danae, I think someone that trolls, first of all, it's about them. Trolling has nothing really to do. Danae, are you? Yeah, I did 89 and a half hours. Took me 7.5 months. 8 months. I could have gone after the 6 months but I went for the extra 2 months. I enjoyed it. Well, I have an under in psychology, which you would think I'd help myself with it. But you know what? No, those who can't do, teach. I try. But I find it very heartwarming. Oh, I only got certified 2 years ago. I find it very heartwarming to help people. Because the bottom line, what I used to look at, Bill, with trolling? I used to tell people on here, if you have to troll me, fine. If you're getting your anguish out and you're not going to go inside and kick the shit out of the dog and you're going to be nicer to your kids and smile at your wife or your girlfriend, your partner, whomever, by all means. No one's twisting my arm to press the live button here. If I don't want to deal with it, very simple. Don't go on. I'm opening up myself for someone not to like me, no matter what I do. And it's how I deal with it. That's a great thing, Bill. Oh, you're Irish? I'm Italian and Irish, Gaelic and Gaelic. It's like my Greek friend who's part Puerto Rican. I call her Puerto Rican. Yeah, I'm Sicilian and half Irish. And I'll tell you, it's a good mix because I can claim to be whomever I want to be. And it's broad enough where people say, all right. But yeah, I remember, I look at dating now, dating in the 80s. Sure, I do. In some parts of New York, he's called Jesus. But yeah, of course. That's a good thing, Bill. That's a good thing. Yeah, I very rarely, I don't like the change. I'm pretty much anybody will tell you that knows me. The guy I'm on here, I'm the same guy. Ira, Lee, no, Mitch, if he's on here. Mitch might be praying to Vishnu or someone. Please put a car out there. But Irish, don't forget. Absolutely not. Um, but I used to really enjoy just going out in crowds. It puts the lotion on its skin. Love Jesus, you Christians could. I don't know what that means tonight. Uh, I just think that whatever gets you through the day, but you have to love yourself first. And you can use lotion with that too. You like how I got that? But you know what I mean? You have to really. All right, Ira. Christians could keep psycho. Yeah, Ira and I might be going to Parks tomorrow. Yes, Ira, I'm interested. I'll call you in the afternoon. Well, yeah. Well, you know what? You have plenty of recovering Catholics. You have recovering Christians. Yeah. You know why psychology is a big business? Because after a year, they have you convinced it was your parents' fault. See you next week. You get to blame your parents for everything. See, life coaching, the difference between life coaching and psychology, psychotherapy, life coaching, we go from today. I'm a bit concerned to how you got here, but a psychiatrist wants to know the car, your car payment. Have you ever had any trouble with it? History. I don't. You got here by car? Good. I don't need to go all the way back and make you relive hurt. I could pretty much figure out by looking forward where you are. Continuing to go back, staring in the rearview mirror, you're going to hit something in the front of you. It's okay to glance. But the key is to let's take it from now and try to ensure you a much easier ride to where you're going. In fact, I use that example, Danae, half. Uh, you have one person who tries to go to a wedding, hits detours, gets a flat, but happens to leave early enough where they get to the cocktail party, cocktail hour 10 minutes later than you. They're all miserable, but they got there safely. You have people that will say, oh, thank God I got here. And then you got people that will complain the whole night about it. And what will they do? They'll miss the wedding. They're there, but not mentally. Well, be happy you got there. Well, that's what life coaching is. All right. Oh, so that happened? Nah, that sucks, but you're here. Now let's have a good time. Less concerned with how you got here and more concerned with from here, let's make sure it's a much nicer night. Good night, Danae. Thank you for coming in. So you know what I mean? We all think we have the answers until we realize we don't. When I was a broker, the thing that I remembered more than anything is what I didn't know. Knowing what you don't know, much more important than what you do know. Much more important. With that, you can rule the world. Or at least you're part of it. So, Throwback Thursday. It wasn't Throw Up Thursday. From youth to this is who I am. Do I regret things I did? Not really. I regret things I didn't do. Of course, there were some things that I would have rather have not done. But they got me here. And how do I know that I'd be here without those things that you look back and say, oh, you know, I'm glad you didn't sign off either, as well. Not either. I just think that we do what we can. Throwback Thursday. I've had a lot of Thursdays. I was in Catholic school till I was in fourth grade. We moved and out of the neighborhood. It's kind of like people ask me if I read music. Yeah, but not enough to hurt me. That because when you know the rules of jazz and all that syncopation, the way chords are structured, I can make a happy mistake where someone that writes jazz will say, no, no, you can't put that minor in that coda, right? So not enough to hurt me. Now you're not completely, you're a human being. Just when someone asks, you have problems? I'm a human being. That should answer all the upcoming questions from them. So, no homework. Have a wonderful rest of your night. Thank you for being there. And I'll wait until Billy answers you, Danae. But the Irish are strong people. Faced a lot. I'm talking about in Ireland. Always very strong. But you don't have to be Irish to be strong. So out to all my friends. Maybe I'll do a live from Parks tomorrow. Probably go to early tomorrow night, the casino. And I'll do a live from there. How's that? Everyone have a great night. Thank you for coming in. I really do appreciate it. God bless you guys.